that for investor relations officers, it's very important that they be active listeners. And can you address that point for us today?
Sure, sure. We all know that a successful IRO has excellent communication skills, both verbal and written. But what we don't always think about is the listening skills, and they are equally important to the verbal skills. And the IRO spends the entire day practically talking about the company, telling the company story, explaining the results to investors, but probably not thinking much about listening skills. And studies show that we all use about 50% of our listening skills, and we only retain about 50% of what we heard. So they are critically important. Active listening really talks about being totally engaged in the conversation, focusing on what's being said, and hearing both the verbals and the nonverbals. And those of us in IR know how important nonverbals are to investors. They listen for them. They probe, they ferret out, they extrapolate, they interpret. So it's really important to be equally skillful at the nonverbals, and that comes from active listening. The first step then is to be non-judgmental when you're talking to an investor. Don't judge the speaker. If you do, you're not listening. You're not really listening. Secondly, engage them. Get them to be open. Encourage them to be open with you. And third, demonstrate to them after they finish that you heard them by saying something like, "I think I heard you say," so it kind of verifies and validates. So that's what we mean by active listening, being totally and fully engaged in the conversation.